When it comes to educators in America, black men are one of the least represented groups. Even in Detroit, where most of the student body is black, most of the teachers are not. We traveled to a city where a group there is not only encouraging the teachers they have, but finding ways to lift up young people who help fill the gaps, becoming the next generation of black male educators.
And if we're talking about statistically, it does affect African Americans more than any other demographic. They know that when they come into my class, they're gonna learn something new. They don't have to ever ask me, like, what are we learning today? What are we doing today? When we're working together one-on-one, when it's a group thing, that we practice these methods. And I knew that there was a lack of mathematical and scientific knowledge of our African American youth, specifically with black boys. So I wanted to make sure that, I gave back the importance of having a math and science background. And I also wanted to give back to my community as I grew up in the Detroit public school system, kindergarten through 12th grade. It's always important to have a strong foundation in terms of relationship before you even get into any kind of content or anything like that, because once you get that relationship, the kids look at it like anything is possible.
How did that make you feel when you and your father ended up saying some stuff that y'all didn't really, shouldn't have had no business saying?
Helping increasing diversity can help people feel like they belong there. And I think it's also valuable for our students to see a teaching staff that looks like them. If you don't have another black male or someone that's had a similar experience to you, you may not feel supported or you may not just enjoy what you're doing. When you think about why the number of black males in the profession is declining, I think there's a number of reasons that may explain that. On average, black males don't achieve or do as well in schools as students as their counterparts. So we find that black males are suspended at higher rates. They're placed in special education classes at higher rates. If you're not having an enjoyable experience in this space, why would you then want to go to a college and go through all of that to return back to a space that you didn't find enjoyable?
And those terms are?
When it comes to the teachers, nationally, there's 1.3% of black males in our schools. So I was noticing that I was the only black male educator in a district of 20 elementary schools. And so for me, it really sort of got me thinking around, like, why am I one of the few to go into this, to do this work? I began to think about what are some ways in which we could begin to shift this narrative. How do we begin to engage younger people, younger males into the profession? So we decided to, let's think about starting the Black Male Educators Alliance. And I began to focus on Michigan. And so that sort of also helped to precipitate that sort of the idea and grow the idea in 2017. I was really hyper focused on getting quality teachers, but also really wanted to see if there's ways to engage the few black male teachers that are out there to come into my school. And so that worked. We were able to recruit a great number of black male teachers at the elementary level. When I went to the middle high school, the same thing happened. So from there, I began to think, there's something to this.
We don't have many times to interact with other black male teachers. You have the other teachers, but we're fighting a different fight. I feel like I'm a full-time father. I'm a teacher first, right? Well, I'm like teacher third. I'm a father figure first to my two classes and then all the other kids who want to just engage with me.
What I've seen is, and I don't think that this is something only unique to Detroit, our students are experiencing traumatizing challenges every single day outside of the times of 8 a.m. and 4 o'clock. It is beheld upon not just black teachers, but all teachers who are in front of kids to see what is the context. What is the context of our kids' lives before they come to us and after they leave us?
Unfortunately, a lot of our kids, I would say their confidence is almost shattered by the time they reach 9th grade because of what they see on the media, what's covered in the media, and basically the negative connotation of being a Detroit public school student. So I think it's my job to build their confidence up for the whole year that I have them, and maybe even throughout the time they're in high school.
Acknowledging somebody's feelings, right? Raise your hand if you got feelings. And I know we, macho a little bit. So, BMEA's Youth Leadership Development Program, we implement an intergenerational mentor model that's really looking to increase the math and the literacy proficiency of our Black and brown boys in grades K through 5. And the way we actually get them to that space is really having them engage in issues that involve them. So we want to make sure that they are engaging in these leadership skills that they're going to have to utilize as they get older, being able to communicate, collaborate, and really being able to think creatively to solve those issues. Currently, we have 77 high school mentors within the Youth Leadership Development Program, and we have just under 250 elementary school mentees.
We believe our Youth Leadership Development Program has many benefits, but one is to help rebuild a pipeline of Black males interested in becoming teachers. And that program is an intergenerational model of mentoring in which you have site supervisors that serves as, mentors and supervisors to high school Black males who then work in the local elementary schools with Black boys.
How many of y'all been told, shut up and stay in the child's place? Are you a kid and you can't? Yeah.
They helped me with a lot of learning from my young age. I'm only 16 now, and I feel like what they're teaching me now, I can use in the near future.
Do y'all think our young guys want to hear that? No. Hey, so we gonna allow them that space?
Honestly, it's shifted me to change my career more towards teaching, and I feel like that's where I feel like it could lead me to, something there.
They help me grab my voice. Like, I know how to speak up for myself and speak up for others now, especially since I've been around the elementary students, and I've noticed, like, to recognize when something's wrong and kind of stand up for that in a way.
We just want to make sure that we want to position our high school mentors to understand the power that they have by simply being themselves, but also working towards being the best versions, because it impacts our elementary school scholars, and they start mimicking a lot of those behaviors as well.
People are scared to talk about diversity if they're afraid that money's going to be taken away, federal dollars are going to be taken away, because federal dollars are important to schools, especially low-income schools. And so if folks are having initiatives that's focusing on getting more teachers of color, they're going to be less hesitant to do that if it's going to mean they're going to lose money, right? And so there's a concern around that. I hope, we can have a very open and honest conversation around why this is important. There's very clear research talks about the impact that Black teachers, Black male teachers, have on white students as well.
It's a fun job to do, teaching. It's not really about the salary so much to say. And just seeing kids being inspired by, looking at me being a product of this community to, give them the knowledge to say, okay, well, if he did it, I know I could do it too. And so it's just a joy.
What we're seeing now is everybody kind of wants a Black male teacher, everybody kind of wants a Black teacher. We are invited, but we're not really welcome. Something is happening to the fact that we can't retain teachers, but we have to get them in the door and we have to put them in an environment where they can thrive and they feel welcome.
Feeling welcome, certainly key.